A lot of research has been done on the impact a high meat diet has on our planet, and the results are astronomical. Just by substituting some of the meat we eat with plant-based sources, we can begin to reduce our own personal dietary carbon footprint. I was never fully aware of the impact my own high meat diet was having until I watched David Attenborough's A Life on Our Planet and read this study on dietary greenhouse emissions. That's what triggered my decision to try a vegan diet for 7 days, and unless I have some profound epiphany during the next 7 days, I have no intention of maintaining it. Going fully vegan for 7 days is more to build my familiarity with the low meat diet, using it as a stepping stone to becoming more plant-based in the future, as well as a way of feeding my own curiosity to the effects it will have on my body through a blood test and other means. In order to see how a vegan diet affects my body over the next 7 days, I'll be doing a blood test this morning to check my cholesterol and my hormones and a few other things. I'll then do the same blood test a week today at the same time. I'll also track my body weight throughout this period, and although I won't be eating a specific number of calories, I will be tracking what I'm eating. Because obviously I could just eat in a calorie deficit and I'll lose weight regardless of whatever diet I'm following. But instead, I'm going to just eat intuitively and just eat based upon my appetite. That way I'll see whether a plant-based diet makes me gain weight or maybe makes me lose weight. So this morning I weigh 106.8 kilos, and this is what I look like. Besides my body weight and a blood test, I'll also take my blood pressure 3 times this morning and then again a week today at the same time. This is a really simple finger prick blood test from MediChex. We're gonna do this now and we'll just pop in the post. So I've just sent the blood test. The next thing I've got to do now is go home and have my first vegan breakfast, which is probably going to be the same breakfast I normally have. Except for Sunday, I'll be eating porridge for breakfast, which is what I normally have. Except instead of whey protein mixed into the oats, I will substitute that with a plant-based protein powder. That's going to be combined with 100 grams of oats, mixed with the coconut milk. I'll then cook the plant protein powder into the porridge, and once that's cooked, top it off with berries, peanut butter, Biscoff, and a sprinkle of black sesame seeds. As a breakfast goes, this is pretty healthy. I mean, it's full of antioxidants, micronutrition from the berries, the raspberries, the blueberries, got some good carbs from the oats, plenty of protein. We've used the chocolate peanut flavor protein powder from Bulk Powders for this one. Let's give it a go. Chloe just said that hers is pretty good. It's okay, it has an odd taste. I don't know how to describe it apart from perhaps it tastes like the earth. Perhaps a little dusty, not gritty, it just tastes a little odd. I think that's just something that you've got to get used to. I like your hat today.
Thanks, I washed my hair.
It's nice.
I was going to say, why don't you try some honey on it, but you can't.
I can't.
I've got some golden syrup.
Let's do that. Let's put a drizzle of golden syrup on. I did contemplate the honey as well. And I was like, no, the bees. I like how we both got pandas today, Chloe. Look, we're very pro panda in this house.
Getting in the vegan vibe.
So I'll be having this breakfast pretty much every day during this week. However, I am going to have like a cheat day. So on the 7th day of the diet, I'll have something completely different. Maybe some vegan waffles or something. But this will be the easiest thing throughout the week to prepare and eat because it's going to be exactly the same. However, yesterday we went to the supermarket and bought a whole variety of different vegan foods for this week. We got a number of things, including lots of vegetables, like these giant broccoli florets. Also, we bought lots of meat alternatives from brands like Plant Pioneers, Linda McCartney, and The Meatless Farm, which had these burger patties that got me all excited. There's 17 grams of protein per patty, just 260 calories, and only £1.50 for both. That's a whopping good deal. This entire shop cost £88, which is double our normal weekly shop. Although we're shopping for a large protein goal and we've never shopped vegan before, I do think over time with research and just shopping around, we could bring that price down. We also did visit the Chinese supermarket, which is always fun, and we picked up some tofu, which was just £1.19 and enough for 2 meals. That's much cheaper than a typical source of animal protein. We also got some vegan oyster sauce, which is for cooking, and hopefully that'll add a rich and satisfying flavor to our meals. I am genuinely excited though to try some of these meat alternatives. I think we did a pretty good job in terms of our shop. So I know this sounds dumb as it's only day one, but I do feel different. I've been a vegan for like 12 hours and I can't really describe it, but I'm sure I feel different. I successfully hit my protein goal of 225 grams, and in the end I ate around 3,200 calories. Everything I ate as well was delicious. My breakfast was pretty standard, but the lunch I had was like this tofu rice bowl, which was great. And I topped it off with some sriracha and some spring onion, which gave it a nice texture and flavor. Today I started having tea with soya milk, which was a massive fail. It didn't work whatsoever. And for dinner we had this delicious black-eyed pea kale masala, which was beautiful, and we'd use like these Plant Pioneer chicken pieces, which are essentially like soya protein. After dinner I had some Alpro yogurt with some chopped up nuts, some chocolate, specifically vegan chocolate, and a scoop of caramel latte protein powder. So some more of my protein powder supplement. That's one supplement I will be having a lot of this week, and I'll also actually be having some other supplements throughout the week.
Good morning, everybody. I didn't sleep too well last night. I was very gassy and it kept waking me up. I had to wake up and fart. It was very odd. That doesn't normally happen, and well, I guess it's to do with the vegan diet, probably something to do with the soya and the tofu and all the beans that I had for dinner. But yeah, that doesn't normally happen, and it really affected my sleep as well.
For this 7-day period, I don't want to drastically change my diet besides removing all animal products. So when it comes to supplementation, I only wanted to substitute any non-vegan products and not add any additional supplements. That way the effects a vegan diet may have on my body will be more prevalent in the blood test results. However, if I was to continue this vegan diet or even a vegetarian diet, I would supplement B12. B12 is widely recommended for anyone following a more plant-based diet because vegans and vegetarians are often found to be deficient. This isn't a flaw with veganism. It's just because B12 is fed to animals, so animal protein is highly fortified. And unless you're eating B12 fortified food on a vegan diet, it's likely you need to supplement it. The supplements I will be taking this week besides protein powder are a probiotic for gut health, a vegan omega supplement to replace my typical fish oil and so I can continue to get both EPA and DHA, as well as a multivitamin and this magnesium complex supplement that contains, as well as magnesium, vitamin B6, D and zinc. So for lunch today, I'm going to be having 3 things in total. One is this Plant Pioneer spicy no meat pizza, as well as this sweet potato katsu curry from Leon. And also I'm going to have 5 of these like chicken style meat-free pieces from Plant Pioneers to push up my protein a little bit. Well, this looks pretty disappointing. So I popped some chicken pieces on top of this pizza. It looks like the pizza has salami substitute, which smells sweet. Satan. It's topped with Satan. It tastes pretty good actually. So I probably wouldn't make a habit of eating like this, especially given the fact that it's very heavy in carbohydrates, quite heavy in fat, and not a huge amount of protein. I mean, 1,200 calories for what looks like not a great deal of food. This will not be a difficult 1,200 calories to eat. It's a bit spicy, but that's good. That's very welcome. I can't anyway tell that the cheese is not cheese.
That's good.
None of it tastes bad. Even this like fake weird Satan pepperoni. I wouldn't really want to make a habit of eating all of these meat alternatives because there is some kind of like manufactured vibe about them.
It all really heavily processed.
Yeah. How do you hit a high protein goal without doing that? Because you can eat, there's obviously plants that are rich in protein to an extent, but
you'd have to only eat those.
imagine how much of it you'd have to eat. So that is the big challenge. But this is good, and this will fuel me nicely for my workout that I'm going to do afterwards. So this is my 4th workout of the week. At not one point during this week, during my workouts, have I felt like the vegan diet has affected my energy or my strength at all. And nor should a plant-based diet really affect your workouts. I think if you're preparing properly, if you're getting enough B12, because obviously if you don't get enough B12, your energy is going to suck, so your workouts will suck. And other things like getting enough protein for your body weight, getting enough iron, all of these things will contribute to your workouts. And also I've been eating so many carbohydrates because I've been trying to hit my protein goal that I think that's really helped my workouts because I'm full of glycogen. Hey, sorry about the wait. Thanks, mate. Good night. So for the vegan cheat meal, we have a vegan chicken burger. It smells amazing. It has some Butchie's mayonnaise. Butchie's is the place we got this from, by the way. Has their like style of mayonnaise. It looks great. On the side I have mac and cheese bites from Leon. I'm assuming the cheese is probably predominantly made up of coconut oil, as that seems to be the theme with vegan cheese, and also a bowl of chips. We'll start with some Leon mac and cheese balls. Those are good. They've got a really like a sun-dried tomato flavor. So this is a vegan chicken burger where the cheese is melted nicely and it's seeping out the edges. It doesn't really taste like chicken, that's for sure. I don't know what that just tasted like. It kind of has the texture of like a fish cake. My voice is doing the reverse of dropping. Do you think it's all the soy that I've had this week?
I'm going to reverse puberty.
Exactly. What have you got, Chloe?
I got the cheesy rider with extra bacon.
It doesn't sound very vegan.
I was getting headaches from being veggie all week.
Chloe has succumbed to the meat.
I never signed up for this.
Exactly. I'm beginning to get quite used to eating plant-based as well. At the beginning of the week, it was very weird. Now it's become very familiar. I'm pleased with it, and it's probably one of the nicest things that I've eaten this week, but it does feel like it lacks the satisfying chew or bite that you'd get in a typical burger, which is a shame. But like I said, I like it, and I'm starting to get used to this whole plant-based thing. After heading to bed Saturday night, admittedly feeling a little unsatisfied, I wanted to wake up Sunday morning and have something sweet and delicious, as well as something pleasing to the eye that I knew would bring a great deal of sensory pleasure. Alas, our first attempt at vegan waffles did not deliver on this. Instead, turned out to be a pile of waffle mash, aka shit, with a side of sliced vegan sausage. Do not fear though, for Chloe is a culinary genius, and she was able to rescue my cheat meal and deliver a plate of succulent, decadent, and delicious waffles. These waffles felt symbolic as they marked both the final cheat meal and breakfast of my plant-based week. After eating them faster than Usain Bolt racing to catch a bus, I had just one more vegan meal to go. These were wraps with an Alpro yogurt base filled with chopped burger patties from the meatless farm, sliced pepper, onion, and grated cheese on top with a side of broccoli. And with that eaten, it was now time to await Monday morning, where I would take my blood pressure 3 times, do a blood test at the same time and in the same condition as the week prior, and also step on the scales and check the physique. So my weight this morning is 106.8 kilos, which is exactly the same. I was quite surprised that my weight remained the same because I thought during the week I was eating more calories than normal. At least it felt like that because I was attempting to hit my protein goal, which was meaning I was having to eat more calories and especially more carbohydrates. So I was expecting there to be more water retention. However, my weight didn't change. And obviously my body looks pretty much exactly the same. But it was only a week, and I think we should preface this entire outro with the fact that it was only 7 days plant-based, and that's just not enough time to properly attribute any changes in my body to the diet. My blood pressure did drop slightly. It was around 120 to 125 systolic over 60 to 65 diastolic. Now, no one really knows what that means, apart from far smarter people than me. What I do know is that it's okay. But a week later, when I retested, it was actually down at 110 over 60, which is an improvement. My sleep throughout the week was a little disjointed, mainly because I was having some gas issues. I was basically being woken up in the night because I needed to let one rip. I just think I need some more time to acclimatize to a plant-based diet, and in time, hopefully my flatulence will reduce. It's actually a pretty common thing though, and I think it's due to an increase in fiber and probably a reason to ease into this type of diet. Talking of flatulence, actually, the 3-bean chili that we made was easily our favorite vegan meal, even if it was the biggest culprit of gas. Vegan chili. That's pretty good.
I'd say it's the best vegan thing we've eaten all week.
Yes! And I made it! It had no meat alternates and still tasted hearty and satisfying. I also really enjoyed tofu, especially baked, because it had a nice crispy top. So we'll definitely be introducing more tofu into our diet. And also what's interesting actually about tofu is that although it's considered just a source of protein, the fat and protein is pretty balanced. So if you're looking for a healthy way to increase your fat, get some tofu in your diet. A lot of people think of healthy sources of fats as nuts or oils or oily fish and avocado. Well, tofu can actually be a healthy source of fat. I wasn't actually a fan of most of the meat alternate products that I ate. For example, the Meatless Farm patties or the pizza or those Beyond Meat sausages, which were like 500 pounds for 2. The best ones I tasted would be the plant chicken style pieces. They will definitely be part of my diet moving forward. If I was to do the food shop again as well, I'd just be more selective with the food that I bought, having now experienced like certain brands and products. For example, those chicken style pieces that I mentioned, I'll definitely be buying those again. And actually the Linda McCartney sausages, they taste incredible, really well seasoned. Although a little low in protein, I still plan to actually include both of those in my diet moving forward. Now, when it came to the blood test, this was very interesting. The first sample I did at the beginning showed I was pretty healthy and there was nothing of major concern from all of the markers. So let's start with cholesterol. In the first sample, it was high, specifically LDL, which is known as bad cholesterol. In the second sample, at the end of the diet, my cholesterol had dropped significantly. Although I said at the beginning, like, I think we should take all of these results with a pinch of salt because it's just 7 days. I do think this drop is because of the plant-based diet. I'm intrigued now to see what happens to it when I eat a more reduced meat diet. With B12, in the first sample, it was within a good range. Now, during the week, I didn't supplement B12, which could have been detrimental. However, it didn't change. So the meat alternate products and perhaps the non-dairy milk I was drinking must have all been fortified with B12. Maybe if I did this for a month, it would be different, but over 7 days, it didn't change. Vitamin D actually slightly improved. Finally, my hormones, which were okay. My testosterone dropped very slightly, but that's nothing to be concerned about, and there's so many things can impact testosterone. 2 markers I'm pleased with though are my blood pressure and cholesterol. And besides that, I've also learned a lot about eating plant-based, which is certainly going to benefit me as I gradually introduce more of it into my current diet. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please remember to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Feel free to comment below as well if you have any feedback for me. And if there's anyone plant-based out there, in fact, who's watching this video, any vegans or vegetarians that, if you have any advice that you want to give me, please feel free to leave it in the comment section below. And I guess I'll see you on the next video. Bye.